Hey folks, welcome to another edition of Mr. V Teaches Math. Today we're going to look at something called inequalities. Inequalities are an interesting term because sometimes I don't think that it necessarily means what it looks like. If I see something that says inequality, it means to me that they don't equal each other. But one of the things that we look at when we look at inequalities are these math statements that one expression is greater than, less than, or not equal to another expression. So we end up using sort of these types of, we have greater than, we have less than, but then we also have this thing, which means greater than or equal to, and then this thing, which means less than or equal to. So these are the four sort of inequality symbols that we end up using. And so what we're going to be looking at eventually is what a variable could be equal to make a statement true. So our answers are actually going to be sort of lists of numbers. Okay? Now, here's how it's going to work. Okay? So what I created was just a days of the week with let's say the high temperature. Okay? And so on Monday it's 2 degrees, which goes right there. Tuesday is 4. Wednesday is 5. Thursday is 7. Friday is 3. Saturday is 1. And Sunday is 6. Okay? So it's a little hard to see, but what I have is I have all the temperatures listed out. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now what I need to do is write out some inequalities, or write some sentences that describe this graph, this number line. Okay, so I could say things like all temperatures are less than 8 degrees Celsius. I could say all temperatures are greater than 0 degrees Celsius. I could say all temperatures are less than or equal to 7 degrees Celsius. I could say that all temperatures are greater than or equal to 1 degree Celsius. Those are kind of the four inequality statements that I can make. If I were to write them out as like math phrases, I would say like temperature is less than 9. I could say temperature is less than or equal to 7. I could say temperature is greater than 0. I could say temperature is greater than or equal to 1. These are my inequalities that I'm looking at. Okay? So let's go through a couple of examples. Okay, so this is where it starts to break down for some people. But I have example 1 here saying solve n plus 3 is greater than 5 where n is a whole number, graph the solution. So there's one thing, 2 things, and then 3 things going on. Okay, so the first thing is that n plus 3 has to be greater than 5. So that means, get my red pen out for a second, that if n equals 2 for this one, that would be 2 plus 3 is 5, so that makes it not true. So n has to be bigger than 2. Okay, so if I have n equaling 3, then I would have 3 plus 3 is greater than 5. Okay, so my first value that I can put out is right here. That's the smallest one that I can get. So 3, 4, 5. So then if I solve that, I can say that n equals 3, 4, 5, Let's put this dot, because it goes on to infinity. Basically, 3 is the smallest number that n could be. Okay. Now, the next problem that I'm going to be working with, so actually what I'm going to do, for this one, is I would end up coloring the arrow, this arrow red as well, which means that it's going to keep going on to the right. This second statement that says n plus 2 is less than or equal to 6, which basically means if I have n equals 0, I would then have 0 plus 2 is less than or equal to 6, right? Because that's 2. If I have n equaling 1, I would have 1 plus 2 is less than or equal to 6. I'd have n equals 2, and then so I'd have 2 plus 2 is less than or equal to 6. That's also true. I'd have n equaling 3, so I'd have 3 plus 2 is less than or equal to 6, and I would have n equals 4, so I'd have 4 plus 2 is less than or equal to 6. So on this number line, right here, 2, 1, 0, and then beyond, we know about negative numbers, that would be the graph of the solution. Okay? So I could say then that n equals 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, and then dot, dot, dot. Okay? And so you're actually going to be asked to look at these different statements, these different inequalities, figure out either what the inequality is, or you'll be asked to look at an inequality and tell me if it's true or not. Okay? And there'll be some word problems as well. I'm fully anticipating that we're going to be spending a lot of time with this together over the next day or two. Hopefully you understood from the description. If not, I'm available tomorrow for help as well. Okay? Have a great night, folks.